to the fourth episode of Jalan Food Journey. I'm your host, Victoria. Now, at Jalan Food Journey, we like to explore different parts of Singapore to find out where you get your constant supply of safe food. And today, I would like to introduce my co-host, the head of marketing at Sustenir, Sherilyn. Hey, Sherilyn.
Hi, Victoria. Hi, everyone.
So Sustenir is a vertical farm, creates 100% clean superfoods, and it's kind of amazing. I didn't even know there was a farm all the way up north here in Singapore.
Yeah. So Victoria, let me ask you, how many hours of sleep do you think our plants actually need?
I didn't even know they needed sleep. If I had to take a wild guess, 8 hours, like us?
Yeah, it actually is around there.
Oh, okay.
So I guess you could see our plants as being live plants. So just like humans, we also need our rest. So the plants actually go to sleep every night.
Yeah.
They need between 6 to 10 hours worth of sleep.
Oh, wow. It sounds like you guys really have figured out the whole plant cycle. So I'm really curious to see what we're going to do and see today.
Yeah, so maybe just a bit of background on Sustenir. So we are actually a high-tech indoor farm growing high-quality superfoods. So if I can introduce you to some of our products over here. So this is actually our range of superfoods. Our hero product is actually our kale. So you will see our kale we've got kinky kale, which is curly kale, Toscano kale, which is Tuscan kale. Then we've got our super kale, which is basically a chopped version of the kinky kale. And then we've got the kale blend over there. So besides kale superfoods, we've also got things like spinach and arugula, which is also part of our superfood range. And then we've got the salad mixes, the Glorious Greens and Mighty Mix, which is lettuce-based salad mixes. And then we've got our kale pesto, which is made from our kale. And we've got our spinach noodles, which is made from spinach.
That's quite a variety here. So between kale or lettuce, what grows faster?
So lettuce actually grows faster than kale. We can actually start the farm tour, then I can show you why.
Oh, great. Okay, so before we get into that, I do have something special to share with you guys. We are doing a giveaway. We have 3 hampers full of local produce worth $60 each by Red Mart. So stick around. All you have to do is wait till the end, answer a simple question, like and share this video, and you'll stand a chance to win. Shall we?
Yes,
All right.
Let's go. Okay, so before we start our farm tour, I actually want to show you something. So this is actually our vision wall at Sustenir. It's to motivate every employee who comes to work every day. So we've got our core values over here as well. And actually, this is also our wall of fame. So we like to showcase our employees who have displayed exemplary behavior. So for example, JR, what he did was he actually tried to reduce waste in all our farm operations by ensuring 100% germination rate of every seed that he seeded.
Wow, that's great. So you really empower every employee here.
Yes, correct.
Recognize it.
Yes,
Nice.
that's what we try and do. Okay, so now we can actually get into our PPE suits and start the farm tour.
Okay, let's do it.
Hey Victoria, let's go into the Sustenir airspace and check out our farm.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, let's go.
Wow.
Stand here.
Wow, that's my first time in one of those. You guys take a lot of steps to be really hygienic here.
Yeah, so we do. Being an indoor farm, it's really important to keep any pollutants or contaminants coming into the farm. So that's why we're dressed in our PPE suits. So that's why all our produce is 100% clean. We always tell consumers in store that you don't actually have to wash it. You can open it and eat it straight from the bag.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, so clean. Okay, so right now we're actually in the kinky kale room. So what you actually see here is our kinky kale, which is actually also known as curly kale. So the reason why it's curly kale is you can see the edges are like frilly.
Yes.
And it's curly. So this
Yeah.
is the kind of super common kale that you find in Singapore.
Oh, wow.
So what is interesting about this fact is, I think about 5 to 6 years ago, we never had locally grown kale, but now we do. With Sustenir, we actually created Singapore's own locally grown kale. So what's so different about our kale versus the kale that's coming in from overseas is our kale is a lot softer. We made it a lot more palatable, less fibrous. It's also sweet and it's got a hint of zest.
Oh,
Yeah, Victoria, do you want to try our kale?
of course I do. After a description like that.
Here you go, I got a small piece for you.
Oh, thank you. I love that crunch sound.
Yeah, you can hear it, right?
Yep.
How was it?
Oh, wow. Oh my God. It's got this, and I'm not just being crazy about vegetables, but it's got this really fresh taste to it. And it's exactly right. This zesty sort of taste to it. And I think, I said true through it. You're right. It's very sweet. And then afterwards, there's just no bitter aftertaste.
Yes.
Which I think a lot of people are, when there's reluctance to kale, it's usually about the bitterness. And I really like the texture as well.
Yeah.
It's really soft and not so fibrous, like you were saying. So it's not so tough and like there's a lot that you need to chew through. It's just great.
Yeah. And you can see that there's a bit of a clean finish to it as well.
Yes.
So you can see everything is super clean. So we have this certification at the farm. It's called ISO 22000.
What's that?
So it's kind of like the highest certification you can go for food. So what that actually means is everything right from the seed to right down when the vegetables goes to the supermarket, it's all traceable. And this is audited every so often so that our produce actually always maintains its highest standard.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That
So
explains
I'm
it.
sure you know kale is also a superfood.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's on every superfood list that you can find. What we try and do with all our produce is we try and make sure that it's not only good, high in fiber, good for your gut, but it also has a lot of vitamins and nutrients. So a fun fact about our kinky kale is that 100 grams of this actually has 2 times more vitamin C than a whole orange.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that's why we try and make sure that you not only eat vegetables that is high in fiber, that it also needs to have a lot of vitamins and it also can boost your immunity, which is so important right now for us.
That's amazing. How long does it take to grow one of these guys?
It takes 56 days.
56 days. You guys really have it down to a science.
Yes, we do.
I have to ask, why is it called kinky kale?
So it's called kinky kale because our seeds are actually sourced from Amsterdam. So we tried to be a bit more playful with the naming of the product. So we get to stand up on shelf, amidst all the other brands. You see kinky kale, you're like, ooh, I want to try that.
It is very memorable. So I also noticed it's a bit cooler in here. What's the temperature like?
Kale grows best between 16 to 21 degrees. So that's why we tried to emulate that same temperature inside this room. Yeah.
It's like Amsterdam.
Yes. Shall we move on to the lettuce room?
Sure.
Okay. Okay, shall we try some seeding of lettuce?
Sure.
Okay, so you just drop it into the foam like this.
Oh, just like that.
Yep.
That reminds me of school when we used to grow bean sprouts and we would just put the little seed with a cotton wool and water it, watch it grow.
Yeah, so it's actually the same concept, but instead of growing bean sprouts, this is actually lettuce. Yeah, so we chose to grow lettuce because it's one of the most popular leafy greens consumed in Asia, along with spinach, which is something that we also grow.
Wow.
Yeah. So this stage of growing is actually called the nursery stage. So all the seeding actually happens in the nursery.
I see.
Yeah. So that's why all these little plants have to go to like nursery first before they go on to like primary school and then college and whatever.
Yeah, that's great. Look, I'm making plants.
Yep. So now we're actually at the primary school level of our farm, and what you're looking at is our lettuce.
Oh, they look sort of purplish because of the lights.
Yeah, it's actually just the lights, but they're actually green, don't worry. So the lights is actually part of how we grow. So how we grow is called controlled environment agriculture. Okay. So what that means is we actually control the environment that the plants grow in to make sure that they get the optimum best environment to strive. So controlled environment agriculture actually consists of a few main components. One of it is the lights. So what you see here are Sustenir created lights. We named them Helios after the sun god.
Oh,
so you won't find these lights anywhere else in the world because they were created by us and it's our own IP owned.
Wow, you guys have developed your own light technology.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So besides the lights, we also control the air temperature. So we make sure that we give all the crops the nice cool climates to strive in.
Yeah.
And the last part is of course the water. So the plants actually need the water to be switched on all the time. So the water is actually running 24 hours. So if I could open it and just show you.
Oh yeah.
So you can see the roots all underneath as well as that constant water flow that goes through.
What's the water temperature like?
The water temperature is actually quite cool as well. So the reason why it's cool is because we need to trick the plants into thinking that they're living in a cooler climate.
Wow, that is really interesting technology and the fact that you guys have created your own lights. So why vertical farming in Singapore?
The whole idea of sustainable and vertical farming came to be because we obviously live in an urban city, so we don't have a lot of land to grow very wide spaces of crops. So our founders actually realized the only way to go was literally up. We can grow anywhere. We can, as long as we've got a building with a 3-meter high ceiling, we can actually grow anywhere indoors. Part of Singapore Food Agency's vision to meet 30 by 30, which is 30% of Singapore's nutritional needs and output, we can actually fulfill that need because we don't need the land. We can actually grow upwards and maximize all the space that we actually have. Part of what we want to do as well is we also try and reduce a lot of resources. So we reduce water. We actually use 95% less water versus traditional farms. So if you look at a farm, it's actually a closed loop system. There's no outlet for water to actually run out. Everything is actually taken in by the plants. At the same time, we also have this vision to reduce waste. So for example, our spinach, parts that we don't use or parts that are not perfect, we actually turn that into noodles.
Oh.
So later I'll show you our spinach noodles, which is actually made from the parts of the spinach that we actually don't sell.
That's amazing. There's zero wastage from the water to the plant usage, everything that you do here. So how has the pandemic, or has it affected you guys at all?
The pandemic, we've been actually very lucky throughout the pandemic. I think we've tried to sort of build a food resilient company to actually help Singapore to become a food resilient nation. We're lucky because a lot of our colleagues have been very healthy throughout the pandemic. This is of course thanks to a very rigorous health and safety measurements that were put in place. The farm that you're in right now was actually built at the height of the pandemic in about 100 days. So we saw a lot of disruptions in imports that were coming in. So that's why we ramped up our operations and just built this farm as quickly as we could to meet the demands of consumers.
That's amazing. I can't believe this is all built in 100 days.
Yeah, we tried our best. So we're actually currently standing in the post-harvest area of the farm. So this is where we do all our sorting and our packaging.
This is really impressive. You guys have come a really long way in the last 9 years. And so what kind of innovations are you looking to do at Sustenir?
So this machine is actually part of our automation. So automation is a key part of our scaling up for the business. This machine actually sorts and packs a lot of our produce. It sorts and packs our kale, lettuce, and our spinach.
Yeah, that's amazing. I was just watching it getting packed along. So you also work really closely with Salad Stop,
Yes.
right? I've seen your produce there. Can you tell me a bit more about that relationship?
So Salad Stop was actually one of our very first partners at Sustenir. We chose to partner with them because we both share the same sustainability vision, and we also both believe in bringing healthy food to our consumers.
Honestly, all this talk about food is really like stirred up an appetite for me.
Yeah.
Maybe we should go try some of it.
Yeah, let me show you some easy dishes that we can make.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, so Victoria, I'm gonna show you how to cook 2 dishes today. One is a very simple kale salad, and then
Okay.
we've got our spinach noodles.
Spinach noodles.
Yes, so that's actually made from our spinach.
Oh, so these are what you were talking about earlier.
Yes.
This is really cool.
Yeah.
How much of it is made of spinach?
So in our noodles, there's actually 30% fresh spinach inside every single pack, and each pack has 2 portions. Yeah.
This looks like 1 portion for me.
We can actually start with the salad first.
Sure. Okay.
So I'll show you how to make a salad with our kinky kale. So you just tear it open here. So one thing about our kale is every bag has a Ziploc. So after you eat like whatever you need, you can actually put it back in the Ziploc and keep it.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So convenient.
how we recommend eating it is literally just tearing it. You use your hands to tear. So you
that
don't
helping?
need you don't need much utensils. You just mix it a bit.
It's so fluffy. I
Yeah.
really like how these veggies feel.
So you can actually tear it as to how much you wanna,
Fit in
how
it.
big and
Yeah.
how small. Yeah.
Oh, it's so much easier. Minimal washing because there's no chopping board that's needed.
Correct. So since you mentioned about washing, all our products are actually 100% clean. So you don't have to wash them once you take them out from the bag. You can if you want to, but we do tell our consumers you can actually just eat it like that. Yeah. And it's safe. It's super safe. So now that we've got a full bowl of salad here, you actually just have to add a couple of cherry tomatoes from the vine. You can cut them up if you want, but I think we like to just have them whole.
I love the colors. These are just like bright green colors that you want to see. And that's when you know it's just
gonna taste good,
healthy
right?
vegetable. Yeah.
Yeah. So we've got that, and then I'm actually going to add our kale pesto as well. So this is our power kale pesto. I think a lot of people are used to basil pesto, but we decided to use the waste from our kale and turn it into pesto. The recipe was actually created by ourselves as well. So we did R&D and we created it ourselves, and then we passed it to someone to make it on a larger scale for us. And it's super healthy. It doesn't have any additives or anything to preservatives to extend the shelf life. What's keeping it what gives it that shelf life is actually the olive oil, extra virgin olive oil. That's it.
Ah, yes. Because it helps preserve it.
Correct.
That's so interesting that you're using kale to do that.
Yeah. So you can actually have it with crackers. If not, you can actually just add a big scoop of it in. That should be quite yummy. Let me just put it there.
I can just smell it. Oh, it smells so good.
Yeah.
I can smell the cheese.
The ingredients in this is actually just kale, olive oil, almonds, Parmesan cheese, salt, pepper, and that's it.
All completely fresh ingredients.
Super fresh.
I really like the sound of that.
Yeah. You can add a bit of our dressing. You can just pour how much you want in. It depends on how wet you like your salad.
These these kale leaves are actually very, for lack of a better word, moist. There's just a lot of, it's not that dry, which I really like because I've experienced that with some other places in other countries. So this is great.
So actually, if you want, we always tell people you can actually put them in a simple toaster oven, and then you can have it as kale chips as well.
Oh, yeah.
So all you have to do is pour olive oil over, and then add a bit of salt and pepper, and then you're done.
Oh, I like
Okay,
the sound
so
of
we're
that.
almost done. So the last step is obviously just putting a bit of cheese over. Yeah. Okay, that's done, and then you just have to mix it.
Okay.
Yeah. So I have this salad quite often myself. Try to have this salad like 2 to 3 times a week.
That's great. I think.
Oh, shall we
Oh, yeah.
make that lesser? Okay.
I think the interesting thing to know in cooking is that the less ingredients that you're using to cover up, that means you're working with really fresh produce. So
Yes.
this is obviously a testament to that.
That's true. That's true. So we haven't added any meat here as well. We prefer the meat-free option, but if you want, you can add in salmon or a bit of chicken breast to just give you that extra protein. Okay. So you can
looks
actually
good.
try it if you want. You can actually still see that the vegetables are still, it's holding the sauce very well.
Yes.
So it doesn't get too damp. So when you
Right.
eat it, it's still very crunchy and crisp.
That's a really good point. Yeah, and that is a good thing about kale. It's just a very hearty sort of vegetable. Should I just try it, or are we going to have this with our noodles?
I think you can just have it first.
All right.
Yeah. So I think this is enough for one lunch.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Shall we dig in? Do you want
Yes.
this served? Okay, we're just going to do it.
Oh,
Here you
go
go.
for it.
Try to get a smaller piece here.
The pesto is really coming through as well.
It smells so good. I really like the smell of the pesto sauce.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm.
Good, right? It's not too salty. And there's a bit of sweetness as well. Okay. Shall we move on to the noodles?
Yes.
Okay, the
Show me.
water's really boiling right now. So this is our latest innovation product. So how we actually created this was very similar to how we created the pesto. We had a lot of these stocks and produce that we couldn't sell to supermarkets because they were deemed imperfect produce.
Okay.
So we were like,
For aesthetic reasons.
yeah, we were like, what can we turn them into?
Okay.
So we turned them into juice, into puree, and then we made the pesto, and then we also made noodles. Yeah,
I think that's very clever.
So this is our spectacular spinach noodles. It's actually made with 30% spinach, so that's actually quite high. We're just gonna dip them into boiling water. So it literally only takes 2 minutes to cook.
Ooh, that's quite fast.
And it gives you that nice al dente taste as well.
Yes.
It is quite springy.
Okay.
So I recently had this myself at home with steamboat, and it was really well. It went so well with all the steamboat flavors.
Oh, just in time for Chinese New Year.
Just in time, exactly. Just gonna turn this up a bit. Okay, I'm just gonna put it in. Yeah, you can cook it like that. So each pack has actually 2 rolls. Okay. Should we time this? So we
Yeah,
can
let's
just
time for 2 minutes. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm looking at the clock.
So we've had a lot of recipes.
Your little assistant here.
Yeah, we had a lot of recipes come in from people telling us how they actually eat their noodles.
Yeah.
We actually like to have it same like how we have our salad. We don't need to add a lot of different ingredients
Yeah.
or flavors into it because it really has a very distinct flavor.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna have it with a bit of chili oil and then a bit of less salt soy sauce, and then we're good. Yeah.
Okay.
But we've seen people have it with like teriyaki chicken or with a side of baked salmon. It works well no matter what. Yeah.
30% spinach, that's, like you said, it's quite high. I think that's the highest I've actually heard of spinach noodles.
Yeah. So the fact that it cooks in 2 minutes as well, it's actually a much healthier alternative to instant noodles.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So instead of eating your instant noodles regularly, you can actually eat this more regularly. Yeah.
I'm curious to see how it lines up. Okay, 1 minute to go.
Yeah. So we what we try to do is we partnered with a chicken broth brand recently. It's collagen soup base.
Okay.
So that for ladies who like to have a bit of collagen in their diet, you can actually make collagen soup and have spinach noodles as
Good
well.
idea.
Yeah.
Multi-purpose, many sources of nutrients.
Yes. Yeah.
To ensure that we good. Yeah. So where can we get these noodles?
The noodles are currently available on most e-commerce channels.
Okay.
So you've got PandaMart, Redmart, FairPrice online.
Okay.
You can find the noodles there.
Okay.
But for the rest of our range, we're in pretty much every major retailer.
Okay.
So we're in NTUC, we're in Cold Storage, Sheng Siong Prime, Little Farms, Media, pretty much everywhere.
Oh, you can get it in
Yeah.
most places. In
Yes,
Singapore.
yes,
That's
you can.
great.
Yeah.
Okay, I think time is, it's been 2 minutes. Does that
All
look ready?
right. Yeah, it looks
Okay.
ready. So this is the noodles. It's got a nice, vibrant green color as well. Just gonna strain it a little bit.
That's good. Do you
Yeah.
want to put it in here?
I think I'll just put it inside
Okay.
there. Yeah. Okay. Just gonna pour it out.
So I see that this is like a one pot sort of, all you have to do is boil it, and everything we're going to do now
Correct.
requires no additional cooking.
No, it doesn't. Let's
I love the
just
sound of that.
bring this nearer. And it cooks in 2 minutes. So if you don't have time, this is actually a great, this is a great option for dinner, for lunch. Okay. So we can just put a bit of chili oil in.
Yes.
Okay, got it. Okay. So, okay.
Guess it depends how spicy you like it.
Yeah.
Not spicy?
I'm okay. I'm okay. I don't, not too much of it. Yeah. Okay, so that's done.
So how does the kale and spinach, I guess, compare to, you know, other types of crops or
Yeah.
that they're grown in Singapore?
Like what I said earlier, so basically our indoor farm ensures that everything is 100% clean. So you actually don't have to wash your produce when you bring it home. At the same time, we also have a longer shelf life versus a lot of the products that you see out there. Reason being is we grow locally, obviously. So it doesn't, the plants haven't traveled that distance to get to you.
I see.
So you, instead of having something that lasts in your fridge for like 4 to 5 days,
Right.
our kale can actually last in your fridge for 14 days. So that's 2 weeks.
That's amazing. I mean, if
Yeah.
you think about it, that means there's so much travel time from farm
There
to
is.
table over
Yeah.
here in Singapore. So local just makes the most sense.
Yeah. And also we try to ensure that all of our products are super high in nutrition. So they're all superfoods. Because it doesn't go through that whole chain of logistics, the food actually is less manhandled. So it doesn't have a lot of bruising.
Okay.
So the more bruised it is, it kind of reduces the nutritional value as well.
Yes.
So it actually keeps its maximum nutrition. Okay. Oh, this looks good already. I think I put the right amount of chili, so I don't think it'll be so spicy.
Yeah, that looks great. And I just love how easy it is.
Yeah, this is it.
It's easy, it's nutritious,
What else do you need, right?
smells good. Yeah,
Okay.
that's all, especially, you know,
Okay, here you go. This is clean.
busy lives in Singapore. Thank you.
Yeah.
Do you want some?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, let me give you some. You did all the hard work. I just sit here. I feel like you've earned a meal as well.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right, bon appetit.
Yes. Okay, I hope you like it.
Yeah, I like it. You made it just right.
Mmm. Good, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's great. This is my lunch now.
I'm so glad this is what we're eating after a really great tour.
Yeah.
So, in terms of food production, how are you guys ramping up? Local food production. How much have you grown? I guess over the last few years.
When we first started about 5 years ago, we literally just had 10,000 square feet of grow space. So that was 5 years ago. 5 years later, now we have 45,000 worth of grow space.
Oh wow!
So we are readily available island-wide, so we must be able to meet that kind of consumer demand. So that's why we've grown from 10 to 45, we also grow vertically, right? So can you imagine how much more output we have?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there must be really a huge demand then. I guess everyone does appreciate, the locally grown produce.
Yeah. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the farm tour, Victoria. I hope you have a better idea of what goes on here at Sustenir.
I do. It was an amazing behind the scenes look at everything. I really appreciate it now. I think when you walk by the shelf and I see Sustenir products, I can see the whole start to end process. Having experienced it.
Yeah.
And knowing how good every bite is and how fresh it actually is. Do you have any last words for viewers before we go off?
Yeah, I would say to everyone, try and buy local, support your local farmers as well. When you see our brands in the supermarket, do pick a pack up and tell all your family and friends to support local.
Yes, I think that's a great messaging. I think there are a lot of reasons why we should be supporting local. And now, the moment that many of you have been waiting for, our giveaway. You can win a $60 local produce hamper from Redmark. All you do is answer this question or questions I'm about to ask, and you also have to like and share this video. Okay, the questions out. Question number 1. How many days does it take for kale to grow from seed to harvest? I remember you mentioned this, and you knew it's an exact number, which is quite impressive.
Yeah.
They got it down to the science. Okay, so that was the first question. Now the second question is, why do you personally prefer local produce? So I think there are a lot of reasons to like local produce. We talked about a lot of it. It's delicious. It's fresh. It lasts longer. The shelf life is longer. It's sustainable. You're doing good things for the environment. There are a million reasons. So do type why local produce is good for you. Okay. Yeah. So remember to like and share this video to be counted in the giveaway. Again, we're giving away 3 of them. And that's it for today's 4th episode of Jalan Food Journey here at Sustenir. Thank you so much, Sherilyn, for the tour. And see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.